views and opinions expressed on the following program are those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the policy or position of ONTV's management, staff, or board of directors.
Detroit basketball!
All right, hello and welcome to the Views from the Sideline March Madness Special 2025. You got Joey Tysick here, Malik Hill, as always. Sammy Taormina is back. OAA now between Taormina's specialists, but also the local Spartan Slappy that we have. And then Jordan Tysick making a return, our Grayson Allen enthusiast. Sammy, how you doing? How do you feel about the bracket? You excited?
I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm a little disappointed, honestly, because not a lot of mid-majors here in this bracket. I mean, and then of course looking at North Carolina in the tournament just really bothers me a lot.
Yeah.
I'd like to send a special shout out to the good folks at Oakview Middle School. My two bosses are Michigan State fans, especially my 7th grade classes. Both my boys and girls, they're all basketball analysts, I call them. You know what I mean? They're very, very all knowledgeable.
Yeah.
8th grade, you know what I mean? They've done a nice job. 6th grade's done a nice job at Oakview. So shout out to them. I mean, like, for helping me figure out this calamity known as the NCAA tournament.
And Jordan, how are you feeling about the tournament? How much basketball have you been watching lately? I haven't talked to you in a minute, being my brother and all.
It's a great time of the year. I haven't been watching all that much besides on Saturdays and Sundays at the bowling alley at Cherry Hill North on Dixie Highway.
So you're prepared is what you're saying.
A little bit.
You're ready. That's good.
And then Malik, me and you, I think we've gone gung-ho on the whole March Madness. I've been watching mid-majors. I've been watching every little tournament.
All in.
How do you feel about this bracket? Do you like it? Are you with Sammy where you're kind of a little disappointed?
I feel like this is the most oddly seeded tournament I've ever seen. Most of the seedings don't make sense. Like Louisville, even though the ACC was down this year, Louisville was a really good team, great comeback year. They get an 8th seed, and they got to face Creighton first round. Like Sammy said, North Carolina got in. 14 SEC teams. I mean, the SEC was good this year, but 14 teams, like,
Yeah.
I don't think any conference should have that many teams. It's hard to explain a lot of it, but there are some good matchups.
Yeah.
There are some really good matchups, and we'll get to Michigan.
I was going to say, how does it feel to have U of M back in the bracket? It's been a while.
It's been a little bit. We're not going to talk about last year. They won single digits. It wasn't great. But Dusty May, he injected some energy into the team, brought in some new guys. There have been a bunch of ups and downs, a lot of turnovers specifically. But they made a decent run, weird into the season, but they won the Big Ten tournament. And that didn't mean anything to the committee.
No, I did not.
And they got a 5 seed, and they got a gift of UC San Diego. So we will see what happens, Joey.
Awesome.
We will see.
All right, so let's get right into it. Bracket time. Here we go. Auburn versus whoever wins tonight, Alabama State and St. Francis, Pennsylvania. Anybody got a 16 over 1?
Any St. Francis fans?
No?
Nobody?
No?
Nobody.
Okay.
No one.
Moving on. Let's get to the real business. Louisville and Creighton. Started off with an 8-9. Louisville not too happy about their 8th seed because they played so well in the ACC. Some of us think the ACC isn't all that good this year. But where do you guys see this going? Jordan, let's start with you.
Battle of the Birds, I see.
Birds.
But I've only really watched Louisville play. I haven't seen Creighton play at all this year. So I'll take Louisville just because they're hot off that ACC tournament.
You know how Creighton plays. You know their style.
Yeah, I'm imagining it's typical Creighton basketball.
Yeah.
But
Ryan Kalkbrenner is still there, so you know.
Exactly.
Oh, so yeah, never mind.
Guards that
know
shoot.
exactly
Yeah,
what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I still like Louisville off just the energy that they're bringing.
Okay. Sammy, where are you going on this one?
You know, I watched Creighton. I watched the Blue Jays. Creighton's done a nice job. They've always been consistent. Louisville, coming off that ACC final, you really got to look at. I really think here in this matchup, I'm gonna go Creighton. I like where the Blue Jays are. I know Louisville's coming in red hot, but they have not been consistent. And I just think Creighton's been consistent. I don't know how they got a 9 seed here, but I'm gonna take the Blue Jays in this one over the Cardinals.
Okay, Malik, where are you going?
I'm going with my guy Chucky Hepburn in Louisville. He was a great transfer pickup for Louisville. He's been fantastic. They brought some other guys in from other schools too, and everything just meshed. They had a big injury that put one of their starters out early in the season, and they still rolled on and had a great season. I think they got some motivation getting this 8 seed. They know they've been underseeded. They know they deserve better, and I think they're going to play hard. So I'm going Louisville.
Yeah, I'm going to go Louisville as well. Creighton's just one of those teams that I tend to trusted every year, and it just never works out. Again, Ryan Kalkbrenner, at one point I thought he was going to be a stud. He's good, but I just don't think
he's a really good college.
I just don't think he's. I always thought he would elevate to that next level, and it never really seems like he has. And Chucky Hepburn, I'm not like the biggest fan, but he's just a competitor for this team, and I think that's
makes big shots.
That's a spark that this team has been needing.
Yeah.
So I'm also going to go with Louisville, and Louisville advances.
Okay.
And immediately, what do we find right here?
The maize and blue.
Malik, we'll let you go last.
Okay, that's a good decision.
So I'll start this one off because this was a really upsetting part of the bracket for me. My big upset pick this year at the 12 seed was going to be UC San Diego. And I was so excited to see who they were going to match up against, and they get Michigan. And I can't do my boy dirty like this. And I can't.
Tell me why Michigan's going to lose, Joey. Just.
So if I lay out the facts, UC San Diego is one of the best teams to make other teams turn the ball over.
Yeah.
What is Michigan bad at? Turning the ball over.
Yeah.
UC San Diego can score in bunches.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan can go into offensive lulls at times, so they could fall apart that way. Michigan has to rely on their bigs, and UC San Diego, they're not the biggest team, but they can compete with those guys. And it's a terrible matchup for Michigan as far as a 12-5 goes. Now, you won the Big Ten tournament, you're a 5 seed, you should win. But that doesn't go to say that this isn't a scary matchup. So my heart wants UC San Diego, but my brain says Michigan's going to get it done. And I need to see Michigan and Michigan State finally come back to the tournament and play well. So I'm going with Michigan on this one. Sammy, since you're the opposing Michigan State slappy, how do you feel about the Wolverines on this?
It's funny. I had a talk with Nick Garcia about this, assistant principal at Oakview Middle School, and I said to myself, when I looked at this bracket and see Michigan play San Diego, and the turnovers,
Mm-hmm.
and I think about this, and Michigan, yes, they got 2 7-footers. But I just think when I look at this matchup here, I originally have Michigan winning this game, but I think just thinking about the matchup, thinking about going into it, I might be tempted. To take San Diego here.
Okay.
I just think that San Diego, they're going to cause Michigan to turn it over. Michigan's riding an emotional high, won the Big Ten tournament. You know what I mean? And basically, Michigan's not been a consistent team. So I think San Diego goes in here and upsets Michigan. I really do.
Jordan, how do you feel? Have you watched UC San Diego play at all this year?
I have. I've seen highlights of the guy that Malik was talking about earlier, but I want to. Yeah, I don't want to pronounce his name.
I would not want to take Jones.
Yeah.
I could be saying it wrong, but that's what it looks like.
I don't want to appeal.
Yeah.
But I do want to take UC San Diego just because I feel like Dusty May deserves this kind of disrespect after disrespecting tradition.
Oh my God.
I do think, and it does feel like the perfect upset game, but I think Michigan's size will be too much, and I will be taking Michigan in this one.
I'm happy you came to your senses, sir. I'm happy you did. I'm happy.
All right, Malik.
They're too big.
Round us out, Malik. How do you feel about this?
First of all, I want to say I didn't know that was a Michigan State tradition until people started complaining.
It's always been a Michigan State tradition.
I thought people all around the country did that. I didn't know it was a specific
Michigan State does that. I mean, they're with the team clean.
All right.
Okay.
So when it comes to this game, it's a real tough matchup. But after seeing their Big Ten tourney run, if they lost to Purdue that first game, I would have no faith in Michigan. I would predict this as an upset. I would say it's over. But they beat 3 different teams 3 different ways in the Big Ten tournament. They blew out Purdue. They won a shootout with Maryland, basically, and then just a ugly drag-out game with Wisconsin. 3 completely different types of games, and they won each one. They just find ways to win whenever they need it. And Trey Donaldson found some life. He's got confidence. Guys are hitting shots. I feel like this could be a close game for a lot of it, but Michigan separates in the end. They could end up winning by 8 or 9 points. I'll go with Michigan.
All right, Michigan moves on. This is a tough one. That's going to be one of the fun Friday night matchups to round out the first round. Next up, we have Texas A&M and Yale. Are we on Yale this year at all, or do you think last year was kind of a fluke?
I am on Yale.
Can I start?
Okay, go ahead.
This is a trendy upset pick.
Right.
This is very trendy. Last year they upset Auburn.
Yep.
They got John Pulakadis, I believe is his name.
Yep.
Puts up big numbers, averaged 20 a game in the Ivy League. He's a good player. Yale is really good. But I'm not taking the bait this year. I'm not doing it. I'm going Texas A&M. This won't be an upset. Yale will play them tough, but I think Texas A&M has the athletes and the big guys. I think they're just going to win a tough game. I'm going with the Aggies.
Did you watch A&M in Texas?
Yes.
Who won that game?
You tell me, Sammy. You tell me.
Texas.
This is a different matchup. Yale doesn't have Trey Johnson. They do have John Pulakadis.
John
But-
Pulakadis is going to have a monster game. Like he
could.
did against Auburn
He
last
could.
year.
But I'm going Texas A&M.
Like he did against Auburn. I'm taking Yale here. I have stated on record, and I talked to my sources, and I don't trust A&M one bit. I really don't trust A&M. So I'm going to take Yale. I think Yale pulls off the upset here against A&M.
I don't know if I trust your sources, Sammy. That's what I'll say. I don't know if I trust those sources.
But I'm taking Yale over A&M.
And I'll say for a while, I was with you, Sammy. I was on Yale. I love the way the Ivy League plays. They play at a fast pace. They shoot the ball well. I can't overlook the talent that Texas A&M has played against. And I know they're an up and down team, and they could definitely get upset. But they're also one of those teams that could make a deeper run than I think a lot of people expect. And I just think they're more talented. I don't think Yale has that fire that they had last year. It doesn't feel like. And I don't think it's just a Danny Wolf thing. I just think I watched them in the Ivy League final, and they didn't look as good. Now, obviously, you can turn it around and you can beat anybody on any day, but I just think Texas A&M is more well-balanced. And
They just did not look good against Texas at all.
they didn't. But I just think they're the better team right now, and they'll get it turned around easier than Yale will. Jordan?
A&M's, everyone not trusting A&M, but they got older upperclassmen guards that can put up a ton.
Yeah, they got a ton of
So
experience.
they feel like feels like a lot of guys can go off in the tournament, but usually the older upperclassmen that have something to prove. So I'm going to go with A&M not getting upset this round.
All righty.
Man, I'm basically right now 0 for
Hey,
3
listen.
right now.
On an island.
You could be the big winner, Sammy.
Yeah,
I may be on that island.
could be.
I'm on an island right
You
now.
might make us look silly.
Maybe.
All right. This is another popular one. Ole Miss taking on the winner of San Diego State and UNC. That game is the late game tonight. A lot of people not really believing in Ole Miss. People starting to get on that UNC train because they had a good ACC tournament. But Malik, how many ACC conference wins did they have?
ACC conference wins?
Yeah.
I think they had 8 or 9.
They have one
But
automatic.
the thing everybody was talking about was their quad 1 wins.
Exactly.
And they had 1.
Yeah.
1 in 12.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did very deserving North Carolina Tar Heel. They brought up their quad 2 wins when talking about why North Carolina.
They have
got it.
quality quad 2
You
wins.
gotta love it. You gotta love it.
But Michigan's quad 1 wins didn't matter. So I don't know. Make it make sense. But
Not. It's yeah.
and even saying that, this game is kind of scary. Whoever wins out of San Diego State and UNC, because they're programs that have made big runs in the tournament before.
Yeah.
And
It's not easy for Ole Miss.
Ole Miss is just kind of there. They're just kind of there in the SEC, and I don't know if I believe.
But here's the thing. I think they got the best coach, Chris Beard.
Yeah,
They got the best coach.
he's been there
They
before.
got experienced guards. And I think Malik Dia could be a guy that breaks out in this tournament. I think he's a pro. He's like 6'10", long arms. He can do everything on the court. He's super talented. I like Ole Miss. No matter who wins in that 11 game, I got Ole Miss.
Okay. Does anybody have San Diego State or UNC pulling off the upset?
No.
If UNC wins, they're winning.
Oh,
No.
so Jordan
No.
believes.
No.
And you
no,
know it.
No.
No.
I think they could do it too, but I'm going to go with Ole Miss just on the fact that I kind of agree with Sammy. I don't think UNC should have been in the tournament.
They shouldn't.
Yeah. Roll with the Rebs.
Why they're going to
Roll
win.
with the
Let's
Rebels.
go with Ole Miss. Anybody have Lipscomb beating Iowa State?
I do.
Oh
Iowa
my
State
goodness.
having Keyshawn Gilbert out. Iowa State having Keyshawn Gilbert out is big.
Yep, that's it.
It is.
It is for
That's
later
big.
rounds.
But Curtis Jones can still go for 30.
They still have Taman Lipsy.
Yeah, and they still have a really
I
good
got
team.
Liz come over Iowa State.
They still got Momchilovich.
I can't go there with you. I can't. This
No.
time I can't
Okay,
do it.
I'm not joining.
Yeah,
Alright.
I can't do it.
I'm going Lipscomb.
right.
If Lipscomb beats Iowa State, you guys are going to be marking your words.
Yeah.
We will, but we're going with the Cyclones.
I can't. Lipscomb is the Bisons, right?
Yeah, the Bisons.
Okay. It's hard to
They're the
remember.
adults.
All right, here's a couple fun matchups. We got Marquette taking on New Mexico. Marquette with the experienced Cam Jones. New Mexico, Donovan Dent. Super talented guards in both these games, or in this game. Let's go, Jordan. Who do you think wins this game?
This is tough.
Give me the Lobos.
You're not a Shaka Smart guy?
I cannot. Smart. But no, Marquette always, to me, they should have been a lot better this year. And just watch them, to me, has been kind of a disappointment. And I just feel like they don't have it. So I feel like they're going down either this game or the next for sure. But I like New Mexico in this one.
I can understand that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with New Mexico as well. The more that I've thought about it and watching Marquette in the Big East, like Cam Jones can basically carry this team at any time. But at the same time, Cam Jones sometimes reminds me of Caleb Love, and not in a good way,
Oh. Okay.
to where they can be really streaky, and sometimes it seems like they can shoot themselves out of the game. And I think that's a little bit of a concern for Marquette. I just think New Mexico getting experience last year, even though it's a totally different team, I think that experience helped. Donovan Dent, I think, is slightly better than Cam Jones. So I'm going to go with talent in this one, and I'm going to go with New Mexico.
I'm gonna go experience. I'm gonna take Marquette. They got the experience. Shaka Smart. I just think that, Marquette. Yeah, they didn't have a great year, but they're in the tournament. Tournament's a different animal. You can't beat experience, and you got. I really like where Marquette is. I think the Golden Eagles are gonna, they got a good chance to win this game. I think it's gonna be tight. I think it's gonna be upper 80s, low 90s in this game. I just think that. But I just think Marquette has got just enough to move on.
Yeah, this will be a fun matchup either way. Malik, how do you see it going?
This is such a toss-up for me. I love the coaching matchup, Shaka Smart and Richard Pitino. It's a really good one. And another really good player for New Mexico, Nelly Jr. Joseph, their big man. All Mountain West guy, really good player.
The team just below that could use a guy like that.
Yeah. I feel like Marquette is slightly more talented, but Donovan Dent is that type of guard that, like, in March, Him or Cam Jones? I wish I could flip a coin.
See, and the other problem that I keep thinking of, even though I picked New Mexico, I think back to the team last year where we got all hyped about former NBA players' sons and, they're
Yeah.
going to do this and that, and then they kind of just fizzled out.
You know what? I'll go with the Lobos.
All right.
Go to New Mexico.
There we go.
Sammy, you're probably going to be right.
Sammy
but
continues to be on an
look,
island.
You're on the good island. I'll give you this one.
Okay, then.
I'll give you this
if
one.
anything, that means that if our bracket goes completely wrong, Sammy was entirely right.
Sammy, you're a genius.
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, Michigan State, Bryant. Now, Michigan State, I'm a little upset they got the lowest 2 seed, at least mathematically, because they're in Auburn's bracket. They could see Michigan in the Elite 8, which is kind of unfortunate that they couldn't meet up in like a Final Four matchup or something like that. So it's just unfortunate all around. Now, I do think they do have a favorable matchup, but this 15 seed, Bryant, is not that easy. Now, they're the 2 seed. Michigan State should be fine.
Yeah.
They're a good team. I'm not too worried about the matchup. I just didn't like the way that the draw worked out. Jordan, how do you feel about Michigan State so far this year?
I love Michigan State this year, to be honest, but
Yeah, I've fallen back in love
does
with them
everybody-
too.
does everybody remember last time?
Don't say that.
Don't
Don't
say
bring
it,
it up.
please. I still have nightmares hearing the calls from
You
Lake Wayne girls basketball coach Bob Bridges about this.
you said it, not me. I didn't say it, Jordan.
Yeah.
You brought it up.
Yeah,
Please don't.
but no, I do think this year though Michigan State's guards are I don't even know a great word, but scrappy. They're tough.
That's a good word, scrappy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can. I just feel like they are meant for this. They did kind of disappoint in the Big Ten tournament for me, losing to Wisconsin, but I think they should bounce back. I mean, Bryant should be easy, but again, never know. They are young.
Malik, are you going to sour us on Michigan State, or are you just going to give us our flowers?
Listen, Michigan State has had a really good season. They're hard to define because they don't have Jason Richardson became their star player, but they just play like good team. This is a like stereotypical Izzo team. Like they just play well together, and it's hard to pin down like what their strengths are. They're one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the country, and it hasn't mattered. For teams that matters, and for them it just hasn't mattered. And it's really interesting seeing how they play. So I think Brian will keep it close in the first half. But with the way Michigan State plays, their pace, they like to get out and run. A team will score and they'll get down the court instantly. And guys just seem to heat up out of nowhere. And they hit shots when they need to. They're not a good 3-point shooting team, but they just hit shots whenever they have to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going with MSU.
The last thing that I'll say before we let Sammy go on his thing, Trey Holloman, please,
He's the microwave, man.
because
When he's hot, he doesn't miss.
but we saw in the Big Ten tournament he let his head get to him,
Yeah.
and that was a big problem. Got a technical foul late in the game, kind of hurt us big time. So Trey Holloman, yes, he can be a microwave, but please just keep it on the court. Sammy, take it away. Michigan State, where are they going?
Well, 3-point shooting scares me with Michigan State. They're not going to have any issue with Bryant. I know Bryant likes to go up and down. They'll take a lot of forced shots. They'll take a lot of terrible shots. That fits right into Michigan State's path. They should win this game by at least 35. And
Call your shot, Sammy.
yeah,
I love
they're
it.
going to win this
Call
game
your
by
shot.
at least 35 points.
I love it.
I had talks with my sources. 40 points with the spread here. I just think that Michigan State too much.
Big game.
Too much interior. They're just gonna dominate this game.
Okay.
All right. I would love to see it. It'd be a great way to get out of the first round, nice and easy. Okay, moving on down. Florida, Norfolk State. Anybody got Norfolk State?
Florida.
No.
good.
Florida's too powerful.
I was going to say, just look over here. Might be an indicator of how I feel this year.
Walter Clayton Jr. is the type of player that's made for March.
Yeah.
Like he's
UConn, Oklahoma. This is a fun one. UConn, the back-to-back champs. I don't think anybody has them going to be 3-time champs this year, but they still got some talent on the team. And then they're playing a scrappy, I think, Oklahoma team with a real dominant guard in Jeremiah Fears. I honestly want to go with the upset, and I don't know why, because I think UConn has the experience, they have the coaching, but I like Jeremiah Fears' game, and maybe I wish that he was on Michigan State with his brother, but I think UConn could just kind of fall back into the fold, and then they kind of, I don't know if they're going to fall apart as a program, but this could be hurtful to be out in the first round. But I'm going to go with Oklahoma, I think.
I like Jeremiah Fears a lot too, but I don't think this is a good matchup for UConn. I mean, for Oklahoma. Alex Caravan is there.
Mm-hmm.
Terrace Reed came over from Michigan. He's been their best big. I'm forgetting the name of their freshman, number 30, the shooter.
Liam McNeely.
Yeah, Liam McNeely. He's an X factor.
He's been struggling, though. That's my big concern.
He has, but I just think UConn is better. I'm just taking UConn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Experience matters. Give me the Huskies.
Yeah.
Jordan, you going with the Huskies or the Sooners?
Well, I was going to go with Oklahoma.
Ooh.
I just feel from watching UConn this year, it feels like Hurley's kind of lost the team a little bit.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like they just can't get everything together.
Yeah, it doesn't seem
Oklahoma was like
near
the last
same.
SEC pick. I just don't.
Yeah.
They were like the 14th team,
No, I get it.
and I don't feel good about it.
Yeah. Well, since Sammy's been on an island, we're going to go with his pick. We'll take the Huskies.
Go with it.
I've been
Move
on an
on.
island all year long. Come on now.
It happens.
But that'll be another good first-round matchup, an 8-9 seed. All right, here's another good one. Another popular upset. I know Sammy and I were talking about it before we started this show. Memphis and Colorado State.
Yeah.
Sammy, take it away.
Give me Colorado State over Memphis. I don't trust Penny Hardaway's team here in this tournament. I just don't. I mean, like last time I saw Penny Hardaway's team, they got beat. I don't trust Memphis in this tournament at all. Give me the Rams.
I completely disagree. Completely. PJ Haggerty is a walking 30 ball.
Yeah.
Dane Danger cannot be guarded in the paint.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Neat Clifford is a really good player for Colorado State. But I don't think Colorado State has the athletes. I think Memphis, Penny embraced experience. He stopped going over the 5-star kids. His teams have 3- and 4-year guys. They all know what to do. They just came off of winning the American Championship. I'm going Memphis all the way.
I hate to keep Sammy on the island, but I'm going Memphis as well. Memphis is similar to Iowa State, where, yes, they're missing one of their best players in Tyrese Hunter. But I think, again, they have enough talent with, like Malik said, Haggerty and Dane Danger.
Yeah.
Like, those guys, and Dane Danger has experience. So I just think, yes, Memphis plays in the American, but I just think they're the more talented team. Penny's experienced as well. So I'm going to go with Memphis. Jordan, do you keep Sammy on an island, or are you going with the Tigers?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Memphis is really athletic. They went from, like Malik was saying, they went from taking the best recruits, big 5-stars, to now they're just, instead of the most athletic 5-star, they're picking guys that'll stay around for 3-4 years,
Yeah.
but they are still the same athletes. So same style team, but maybe a little bit wiser.
Mm-hmm. All right, Maryland and Grand Canyon. We got the Big Ten. And another kind of popular upset, Grand Canyon, a lot of people like. We saw them, was it last year? Or 2 years ago?
I can't remember who they checked. They took a team to the brink last year.
Yeah.
But they,
So they're a high-paced offense. They look good. Does anybody have Grand Canyon knocking off Maryland?
I think Derek Queen is too good, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's a lottery pick. He has all the game in the world. Their guards hit big shots. I think they're mad after that Michigan loss. I just can't see Grand Canyon beating. Julian Reese is good too, but Derek Queen especially.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see them having anything for him.
Yeah. Anybody got an argument for Grand Canyon?
No, Maryland seems like a hard team to upset for a small school.
Maryland's balanced, too balanced. I think Maryland just, what Queen's good. I mean, give me the Turtles.
All right, Maryland marching on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go.
This is it, guys.
This is it.
All right,
We should all be aligned on
we
this.
we have to preface, Malik. This is not a Tucker DeVries Drake team.
It's not.
but they're
But listen,
better.
Yes.
They're more fun.
They're a better team.
They are
And
basically
this player for Drake might be better than Tucker DeVries.
they are basically a D2 team
in their 30
because their best players are D2.
Yeah.
And their coach came from D2. I want to see this upset. Bennett Sturts is the real deal.
We are the Bennett Starks fan club as far as I'm concerned.
Bennett Sturts.
Yes.
I
He is
love
a
Bennett Sturts.
baller.
Jordan, did you get to watch Drake at all?
I've watched highlights, and I know they are 30-3 or 31-3.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Bennett Sturts is the real deal. You should
Yes,
look up
he
some of
is.
his highlights if you haven't watched individual stuff.
I
No,
watched the Northern Iowa game.
he was unstoppable.
He went.
No,
and then
those-
the Bradley game, he
but-
went nuts. I mean, my
Mizzou
God.
does have an athlete advantage, but
I was
Drake
just
just
about
plays
to
such
say,
good basketball.
you guys are forgetting about Missouri's got one of the best players.
Say what?
Missouri.
Oh. Is Mark Mitchell healthy?
I don't know if Mark
he's
Mitchell's.
healthy.
I think he might be. I'm not
healthy.
sure.
That's a
He
good.
might be a game time
He's.
decision.
I know he was. They're saying he's questionable, but he's probably. I mean, why
He's
would
probably
he
going
play?
to play.
And even if he doesn't, I will say Missouri still has the talent to beat
Yeah.
Drake. I'm not saying it's like automatic Drake. They have is it Caleb Grill?
Yeah. They got several shooters. They got guys that can let it fly.
So Missouri, they have a high-powered offense. This could be a race to 100, to be honest, which will be a lot of fun. This is one of my favorite first-round matchups. It's going to be a really good one on Thursday night. But, yeah, I'm going with Drake. Jordan, did you say where you're leaning?
I feel like Missouri's going to win, but if you guys all want to go Drake, I'm good with it for the bracket.
I am scared that this is one of those matchups where everybody is starting to get on Drake, that they're going to lose.
That's why I didn't take the Yale one, but this could be it.
Yeah.
I'm taking Drake.
Yeah.
Texas Tech, UNC Wilmington. Anybody got UNC Wilmington knocking off Texas Tech?
No.
JT Toppin is too good.
No.
Okay. Yep.
He's that guy.
I'm with you. All right.
Ooh, the coaching match would be fun here.
Kansas and Arkansas.
Kansas and Arkansas.
Yeah.
Bill Self.
They did this on
John
purpose.
Calipari.
They absolutely did this on purpose.
Look at the coaches of these next three
Primetime game.
teams.
Yeah.
Rick
got-
Pitino.
Self,
They put them all in
Calipari,
that area
and
long
Patino, all going at it. But Kansas and Arkansas. Boy, has Hunter Dickinson fallen on the ground. Jordan, I know you love that.
Snakes.
How do you feel about this matchup?
I'm taking Arkansas for sure. I mean, I get it. Kansas has all the experience in the world now with with Perry Ellis 3.0 or whatever he wants
Great pull.
to be. But
Very Paul.
Great pull.
to me, it just feels like that Arkansas is the better team. Calipari brought a lot of energy there. And like I said, I'm not a Hunter Dickinson guy. He's got the left hook. That's it. I just feel like
He
they're
can
going
hit
to
the
choke
occasional
it.
three. He can hit 2 or 3 threes, but that's about it.
Yep. He'll give. Yep. I'll give him that. His trailer.
Yeah. Boogie Fland is back.
Yeah, we
It's
don't
a
know.
big storyline.
However, I did hear a stat that every game that Boogie Fland played in the SEC, was it the tournament or his SEC
he was
games?
out like halfway through the season or
but
a little before.
in the SEC games that he played, they lost.
Well, it took them a long time to get their stuff together.
No,
Yeah.
I know, but he could change the
So-
team, make them a lot better than the 10 seed. I also think Arkansas can knock off Kansas. Kansas is kind of in the same boat as like UConn, where it's just things aren't going right for them, and Arkansas, like they can be really bad at times, I'll admit, but they can also score with a lot of other teams.
Yeah.
So if
Just
you
like
get
the Calipari team.
so if you get them on the right or on the wrong night, they could run the doors off of you. So I'm going to go with Arkansas. Sammy, how do you feel about this one?
Hog, pig, suey. Give me Arkansas. Calipari. It's Calipari. I know he's pretty bitter after what happened to his Kentucky team last year to Oakland. I know he's got several Kentucky players brought him over from Lexington to Fayetteville. Kansas, I mean, Hunter Dickinson's been a complete disaster since leaving Ann Arbor. So you're right, Jordan, on that. I mean, like, he's been a complete disaster. Kansas, to me, looks pretty stale. So give me the Razorbacks here. Hog, pig, suey moves on in the second round.
Anything else to add, Malik?
Listen, Calipari has to redeem himself after last year. After Greg Campy took him down, Calipari has to do something. He has to. And I think Jonas Adu is a good defensive matchup to guard Hunter Dickinson. A lot of their guys that they brought in as transfers haven't been that good. Like Zeke Mayo has either been terrible or like just decent. I'm just gonna ride, Lil Pig Suey.
All right.
Going with the Arkansas.
Yep.
St. John's and Omaha. Anybody got Omaha?
Red Storm all the way. Come
Red
on.
Storm, best defensive team in the country, St. Joseph's.
Patino's here.
It's unfortunate that Omaha has to play St. John's because they are a fun offensive team that they could run it up, but St. John's is one of the best defensive teams in the country. What do you got to say, Jordan?
I said by far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't really argue against it. So St. John's, they're going to be moving on, and we're going to move on to our bracket. And we go to the other side, and we get Jordan's team. Jordan, I don't know if they're actually your team this year, but I always have to say it that you're a Duke guy. How do you feel about the Duke Blue Devils? Does it matter about Cooper Flagg? Obviously it does to a degree, but how do you feel about Duke?
One more year. One more year.
Oh, God.
No, yeah, I do like Duke's team this year. I think Cooper Flagg is the real deal, or whatever people want to say that he is.
They won the ACC without him, which was even more impressive.
Well,
To me, he's not like a lot of the other Duke freshmen who came. He plays hard. He plays defense.
Yeah.
He's not. I mean, he's a little focused on himself too, scoring the basketball, which you need him to. But he's definitely a team player, unlike some of the other one and dones that have came through Duke lately. So I do like Duke this year to make a quite far run. I don't know about winning it, but
Yeah, I'm for once on the Duke bandwagon a little bit. I do
they're
like
really good, yeah.
I like Cooper Flagg's game. Con Knipple is a lot of fun to watch. You know, I love a good shooter. And the biggest thing for me with this team, no more Jeremy Roach. Thank goodness.
He's at
Huge.
Baylor, and we'll get to that game. But yeah,
So I assume nobody's going to take American or Mount St. Mary's over Duke.
No.
listen,
Duke's probably the most athletic team.
I like American so
lengthiest
much.
team in the tournament. They're the most lengthiest team in this tournament. Most athletic team.
I'm a big Matt
like
Rogers
Duke.
fan from American, but I wish they got a better matchup.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Duke all the way. I think John Shire finally has figured it out as a coach, and Duke is just rolling. So yeah,
he looks a lot more comfortable.
Yeah. And now we got kind of two big name NBA talents, I would say, in Mississippi State and Baylor. You got Hubbard versus VJ Edgecombe. VJ Edgecombe is like a top 5 player. Hasn't really produced into Baylor winning games all that much.
it's been a weird year.
But that matchup right there is going to be a lot of fun for this one. And for me, I've gone back and forth throughout since they came out with the brackets. I just like VJ Edgecombe just a little bit better. I feel like Baylor's just a little bit better than Mississippi State. So I'm going to go with the Bears to knock off Mississippi State.
19-14, slightly better.
Amen.
Listen, Mississippi State plays defense. They got multiple shot makers. All I trust from Baylor is VJ Edgecombe. Omier, their big man they got from Miami, he's good. But I trust a few guys on Mississippi State, and they play defense. I'm going with the Bulldogs. I can't ride with Baylor.
Okay.
I can't do it.
Jordan, how do you feel about this matchup?
March is the time for superstars. So I'm riding with Baylor.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I'm the decider here.
He's pulling the old Chris.
I feel like Josh Hubbard is a bigger March star than VJ Edgecombe.
VJ
VJ Edgecombe is the draft star. I think Josh Hubbard is the March star.
It looks like I'm the decider here.
Yeah,
you know what?
Let's see. What do you got?
You know what? I'm riding Malik. I got team that plays defense, Mississippi
sir.
State. I don't trust Baylor one sec. They're a stale team. Give me the Bulldogs over the Bears.
All right. We'll go with Mississippi State once again because we've left Sammy on an island most of the day.
You've left me on an island every time.
Rooting for the Bulldogs.
All right. Here we go. Here's a couple fun potential upsets for some people. We got Oregon, the Ducks, taking on Liberty. We got another Battle of the Birds, boys.
I love the Duck.
Listen,
I love the Oregon
Can I
Duck.
go first on this one?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Love the Duck.
This point guard matchup is amazing. Jackson Shellstad versus Caden Metheny. Caden Metheny went crazy in the ASUN tournament, won them the conference tournament. Jackson Shellstad has kept Oregon in a lot of games where they were kind of out of it. I'm going with the upset. I'm going with the Flames.
Liberty, liberty, liberty.
Listen, Oregon is good, but I don't trust their depth. I just don't. Past their starting five, I can't see it. I'm going with the upset, Liberty.
All right.
Yeah.
Sammy, how do you feel?
I love the Duck. I love the Oregon Duck.
Okay.
He's like a great role model for children. He's a great role model for children. The Oregon Duck is pretty much one of the best mascots I've ever seen.
Now, what about the basketball team?
For the basketball team.
Whoa, let him
I don't,
finish.
for the basketball team.
I'll let them cook. I'm sorry.
I
I'll let you
absolutely
cook.
do not. Oregon, I thought early on when they were ranked, were playing really good early until they got the Big Ten schedule. Then they started going south. When I look at this matchup, the guard matchup is interesting. I thought about this matchup. I'm going to have to make some changes to my bracket here, but I'm going to take Liberty, Liberty, Liberty,
Let's go.
Liberty. Taking them
Flames.
over the Duck. Sorry, Duck. Sorry, Oregon Duck.
Damn.
If you're listening to this show,
No
I
need
know
to
you're gonna.
apologize to them.
I know I'm gonna have to owe you an apology. So if you're listening to me, Oregon Duck, I apologize. You know my Twitter feed. Yeah. So I'm in a lot of trouble with the Oregon Duck now.
That duck will be fine.
All right, Jordan, how do you feel? Ducks or the Flames?
I'm a follower of Christ, but I'm not a follower of the Christian school Liberty University. So I don't really know anything about them. Oregon did play pretty well for their first year in the Big Ten, so I'll ride with Oregon.
All right.
It's a big decision here, Joey.
Yeah.
I
Don't
mean,
let us down.
I'm going to let the podcast go with the 12-5 upset because
Okay.
we need one, I think, somewhere. I don't know if we've gotten one yet. I do like Oregon. I think Oregon could kind of go on a little bit of a run. I think they're talented
It's
enough.
possible. Yeah.
But I do agree that they're kind of hit or miss at times. Liberty, they're almost always like a high-powered offense. So, again, you catch them at the wrong day, and they can put up a lot of points on you. So, something to watch out for. I think we'll just do the 12 over the 5 for the podcast bracket. Arizona and Akron. I wish Arizona was playing almost any other 13 seed because I think they would have lost. I'm not a big Arizona guy. I don't know why. I think it's partially Caleb Love. But
Not looking out for Trey Townsend.
Not looking out for Trey
and see, that's where I feel a little bit
The
bad.
Wildcat.
Because
Former Wildcat.
he transferred out.
Or Grizzly Flash Wildcat.
You know, went to greener pastures if that's how you want to view it. But Arizona's just one of those teams that I feel like they get a lot of hype and then they kind of flunk out almost. And
They never live up to expectations.
and this year they had like kind of a really down year, but they
They had a good run the second half.
right
Of the
and
season.
they spiked at the right time, I think, to get some looks. But like I don't know how Arizona is ahead of like teams like Michigan. I know, you know, it's a whole other thing, but I just don't think they should even be a 4 seed. But saying all of that, I think they're going to beat Akron. I don't think Akron is good enough to be able to deal with the talent Arizona has.
Yeah, I think Akron was, even though they're 28-6,
Right.
I think they had better players last year. I liked Enrique Freeman, Ali. I just like how Arizona finished the season. They went all the way to the Big 12 championship, lost to Houston, who's a great team. I'm going with Arizona.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Cats as well. Trey Townsend makes a difference maker, the former Oxford Wildcat, the former Oakland University Golden Grizzly. I'm taking Arizona because of Trey Townsend.
Okay. Jordan, you going the same way, or you think the
No
Zips got
love
it?
for the MAC, guys.
No love for the MAC.
If Miami of Ohio made it, I think I would have picked them.
Yeah.
I liked Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, no, I'll go with Arizona too.
All right. Oh boy. This is maybe one of my, I think this is my favorite
This right
first round matchup right here.
It's a good one.
BYU versus VCU. I'm going to say it. I'm a big VCU lover this year.
They're a good team.
They're good on offense. They're good on defense. they're another team that it sucks that they drew BYU because BYU is also playing really good right now. They're a high-powered offense. I think either of these teams could make a potential Elite Eight type run if they got on the right pace. But I'll start right off. I'm going with VCU. They're my big upset outside of UC San Diego. So I'm riding with the Rams, VCU all the way.
Former Michigan guard Zeb Jackson
Yeah.
is VCU's 2 guard. Max Shulga was A10 Player of the Year. They have a lot of good players. They're a tough team. I agree. I'm going with VCU. I'm going with the Rams
All right.
all the way.
Jordan, how do you feel about this one? You watch either of these teams?
I know BYU can shoot the ball,
Yeah, they definitely can.
which is good for March. So I know I've seen highlights from VCU, the 2 guards. I watched a little bit the other day of them talking about them. But I've seen BYU blow teams out, so I'm going to go with BYU.
All right. Sammy?
Where you going, Sammy?
I'm going VCU because
right.
here's why. I just think if BYU has a cold night shooting, they're done. Give me VCU. Give me Virginia Commonwealth. Moving on.
Yeah, and I think VCU can cause problems too to make those teams kind of uncomfortable, which I think is fun. So either way, 4 o'clock matchup. That's going to be one that I'm watching out for either way. Wisconsin, Montana. Anybody see Montana doing anything?
I think Montana, they're a good team, and I would have picked them in an upset against a lot of teams. But Wisconsin, they're just really good right now.
Yeah.
Like John Tonje, he's a March type of player. John Blackwell, brother Rice's John Blackwell. Yeah. He's better than I thought he would be. He's a really good player. They're just a good team, man. And Greg Gard is a good coach.
Mm-hmm.
Go with the Badgers.
For me, brother Rice coach Ricky Palmer did a really nice job with John Blackwell.
Yeah.
We got to give him props there.
Mm-hmm.
I look at Wisconsin, and obviously, I was impressed with what they did at the Big Ten tournament. I was really impressed.
Yeah.
I mean, especially knocking off Michigan State the way they did.
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin's one of those teams that I had some questions heading in the year. But when I look at Wisconsin here, I really like what they've been doing. So I like the Badgers here in this one. I think the Badgers get by the Bears here, and I think it's going to be pretty convincing. I like Bucky Badger.
I will say, I think Michigan has kind of given people a blueprint of what to do on defense. Mm-hmm. Michigan beat them in Madison and then beat them again in the Big Ten tournament. Mm-hmm. They held John Tonje down. They did a really good job. So if you have some length, if you have some good athletes, if you can lock up some, you can do some damage against Wisconsin. But they win this game.
Jordan, you got anything to add?
No, I don't know anything about Montana, so.
Neither do I.
Most people don't.
Most people don't.
All right, moving on. St. Mary's and Vanderbilt. Another
game.
really
This is
fun
gonna
game.
be fun, yeah.
Vanderbilt, kind of another one of those teams that were up and down all season. St. Mary's played good until their conference tournament, and they lost to Gonzaga again, which stinks for them. But they still end up with a 7 seed. Another kind of slow-paced team, defensive-minded. They're going to try to irritate you, and I think they can irritate Vanderbilt enough. And just on principle, I cannot have Vanderbilt go forward. They have A.J. Hoggard.
A.J. Hoggard rule for
on
Joey.
Vanderbilt.
He cannot root for him.
So I'm going with St. Mary's. Jordan, you gave me a look there. How do you feel about this matchup?
I just think there's a reason there's so many SEC teams this year, but I like Vanderbilt in this one. I think they're better than what they've shown. And then with St. Mary's not beating Gonzaga this year, I think just another mental hurdle for them going into this.
Sammy, how do you feel about this game?
I absolutely love the Gales here. I mean, even though they lost to Gonzaga, I just think that, I watched St. Mary's play. They got a really good big man in the post. I think this is his time to take over. So I'm taking the Gales here.
All right.
Move on.
Malik?
I think Vanderbilt was the last SEC team that deserved a bid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Texas should have got a nod. I don't think Oklahoma should have got. I think they should have been one of the last four in. I think Vandy should have been the last team that deserved it. And man, I want them to win. Jason Edwards is a bucket. Tyler Nickel is a sniper. And Jalen Carey, I like him a lot too. Vernon Carey's little brother. Man, this is tough.
You can't do it.
I want to.
You can't do it.
I don't know whether to go with my head or my heart. What should I do?
I go with the Gales. I go with your head here.
I'll go. I'll ride with you, Sammy. I'll go with St. Mary's.
Thank you.
All
Ride
right.
with me. Thank
St. Mary's going on.
Okay.
you. Ride with me.
Alabama and Robert Morris. Anybody got Robert Morris?
No.
No. The Colonials broke my heart when they beat Oakland. So I hope Nate Oates just at least buries
Just on
Robert Morris,
principle.
puts at least 80 on him.
And Oakland blew it, by the way.
They did.
should have won.
Yeah,
They
they
blew
should have
it.
won that. They blew it.
Yeah, they did. All righty, moving on down. Here we go. Houston and SIUE. Got to shout out
Listen.
my cousin. Went to SIUE.
Nice.
So he's super excited that they made
their
the
first,
tournament.
It's their first tourney bid.
Yeah.
First one.
I believe
Unfortunately, they're not
the
winning.
spread I think is at 28.5.
That's about right.
But the over under is like 120 something. So that's that's not good for SIUE.
Yeah.
You know what? I did think about this for about 4 hours.
4
I thought
hours.
about this. 4 hours. I thought about it.
Listen,
I thought about it.
I'm happy you came to your senses. I'm pretty sure.
But then I had
Yeah.
to come to my senses.
Exactly.
Well, and then of course my assistant principal said, "You better not put Edwardsville in West St. Houston."
Yeah.
That would ruin it.
Do it on your own personal fun bracket. Pick SIUE. Yeah, that's a fun pick.
I thought about it.
Oh boy. My cousin texted me though, and he said that SIUE does have a really good guard.
They do.
They do.
I can't remember his first name, but Taylor. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's what happens when you make your first tournament bid. Jordan, you have anything to add randomly?
No, shout out the Ross family.
Yeah, there you go.
And also, I know it wasn't SIUE. They fought last year for a tournament bid too, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they came up
So
short.
it's been in the works for a little
Yeah.
bit, so you never know. But
Yeah,
they-
Houston is just one of the worst teams to have to go up against.
Yeah, they're a bad
Hard
matchup
team
for
to
most
upset.
teams.
Yeah. All right. A familiar face in an unfamiliar spot. We got Gonzaga
This is
going
a
up
really
against
fun matchup.
Georgia.
I like this. Yeah,
Georgia hasn't made the tournament since I think it was 2015
it's been a while.
or something
Yeah.
like that.
Anthony Edwards couldn't get him there.
No.
Yeah.
And Gonzaga at the 8th seed. How do you guys feel? Sammy, let's start with you. Where are you going on this one?
Experience matters here. Mark Few is one of the best coaches in the entire country. He's got a national championship. I mean, you got to go with experience. You got to go with the Zags. You got to go with them. I mean, I still can't believe they beat St. Mary's, but you got to go ride with the Zags.
Yeah. Jordan, how do you feel?
We're gonna go with the heartwarming story of since they haven't made the tournament in so long, we'll go with Georgia. And like I said, the SEC was good this year, or at least I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched a lot more SEC basketball because that's what gets played on the national television a lot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I misspoke. I actually think Georgia was the last SEC team that deserved the bid.
Yeah.
Vandy and then Georgia.
yeah, I do believe Georgia this year deserves to be in it.
Yeah.
I mean, Gonzaga this year has been a little wishy-washy. I mean, then obviously they won their conference tournament, but I'll go with Georgia just because.
All right.
I like it.
I'm going with Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga is really good still. I know they haven't played up to their talent, obviously,
Yeah.
but I think they're a team, and I'll just play my cards out right. I think Gonzaga could upset Houston in the next round, too, to be honest.
Good, yes, they got a shot.
And I think Gonzaga is one of those teams, they just need to get out of the first round. They need to, get back in that rhythm of winning. After winning their conference tournament, Ryan Nembhard is an elite guard for the college level. They have tons of other talent. And I think Georgia has the potential to knock them off. But Georgia's another one of those SEC teams that just some games they look really good, and then other games they look really bad. And there's just not a good consistency. And even though Gonzaga was up and down, those margins of victory were always really close. So I don't think they're as big of a variable as Georgia is. So I'm going to go with Gonzaga.
Yeah, I think Mike White has done a good job rebuilding Georgia. This is their first time getting their foot back in. Asa Newell, that was a really good get for him, 5-star guy. He's had a great freshman season. They have some tough guards. But, yeah, I think this is, experience. Mark Few he knows what to do in this situation. I think Georgia isn't really ready yet. They can make it a little tough for Gonzaga, but I think Gonzaga wins. Yeah, going with the Zags.
Yeah.
All right. Clemson McNeese, another 5-12, another popular potential upset for a lot of people. I'm going to nip it in the butt right here. I think Clemson is really good.
Yeah.
I do too.
I think they are another team, and this is where this part of the bracket for me is really weird because I think a lot of teams could go really far. I think Clemson, call me crazy,
They can make the Elite Eight.
they can
They're
make
dangerous.
the Elite Eight. I'm with you.
Clemson's really dangerous.
But if they make the Elite Eight, I think there's a chance they can make the Final Four.
I think so.
Call me crazy.
Listen, they ran up against Alabama last year.
Right.
They had what it took.
They returned some guys. Chase Hunter, real deal.
They beat Duke.
But McNeese is no slouch. And that's the thing. Clemson, they have big wins. Yes, they're in the ACC, which is a little bit down. But beating Duke, I think, is a big confidence builder. And again, they have experience, like Malik said, from last year, that they could make another run and I think kind of surprise people in the same way they did last year. McNeese, another good program. They've been showing up the last couple years. But this is just not I think this is another one of those 12-5 matchups that is getting a little too overhyped. So I'm going with Clemson.
Yeah, I completely agree. Will Wade is a great coach. He could be NC State's future coach. A lot of people think he's going to end up there, which he would make it tough for North Carolina if they get him. But, yeah, Clemson, they've got so much experience. They got one of the best coaches in the country at this point. After last year, they know what it takes to make another run. And they brought most of their guys back. I like Clemson a lot. So, yeah, I'm going with the Tigers.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched Clemson beat Duke and at Little John. I mean, like,
There's the
they
one
do got a really bad loss somewhere. I know they do. And it was just mind-boggling. I think
It was more of a blip on the radar.
Yeah, I think
loss.
it lost to Boston College, I think. Or I
can't remember. I can't
NC
remember.
State, I'm thinking. But I'm still taking the Tigers. I like where Clemson's at. So no upset here. You know what I mean? No upset here. So give me the Tigers.
Jordan, anything to add?
Guys, all that stuff is great that you're talking about and stuff, but you guys are forgetting about the most important thing in this matchup is that McNeese State has the greatest manager of all time. They have aura.
He signed an NIL deal, which is insane.
Hell deal.
But look, I don't think he has enough aura for this
No, he
win.
does not.
I don't think he does.
I think it gets passed on here, and I think McNeese State has to make a run.
I respect it.
I respect it. I do respect it.
Just like NC State did. They had the aura last year.
Ooh.
All right, the team that typically hasn't had the aura until last year finally getting to the final, Purdue, and they're taking on another popular upset in High Point. Malik, you were high on High Point early in the season.
Listen.
How do you feel about them? Let us know.
Hey, man.
Apparently, High Point has a
Point?
barbecue restaurant in their university. I
See,
was
I
told.
don't even know about that.
I heard about
But-
it on like ESPN.
High Point, they're that team this year. They are that team, Jordan. Purdue's going down. Listen, Keza Jeffa from France, 15 a game. Bobby Pettiford came from Kansas. He was big in the tournament. He's an experienced guard with D1, high-level D1 experience. Get Purdue out of here, man. Matt Painter had his run. They're back to normal Purdue. We saw how they finished the season. Like, Trey Kaufman-Urin is tough. Braden Smith is an elite point guard.
Fletcher Lawyer has turned into Foster Lawyer.
Listen, man. I'm going High Point all the way. High Point.
Jordan, how do you feel?
I'm going to be 100% honest. I didn't know what High Point was.
That makes it even better, Jordan. That makes it even better.
No, until I watched them win their tournament
Yeah.
game. I was like, who's High Point? But I believe it. Isn't this their second year in Division I or something?
No, they've been in Division I. They haven't been very good.
No,
Like
okay. I thought I saw something like that.
They've
but-
come out of nowhere to like become a really good team.
But yeah, I agree with you, Malik. I think Purdue is back to Purdue. High Point, I did see that they have some extreme amount of aura also.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
saw they got white boys mean mugging people.
Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm in for the High Point upset.
All right.
Oh,
Sammy, how do you feel?
let's see. Fletcher Lawyer, was he still on that team that lost to Fairfield Dickinson in the first
Fairleigh
round?
Dickinson, I
Fairleigh
think
Dickinson?
he was either a freshman
Yeah, he
or
would've
Yeah,
been-
he was on that team.
He was a
on that
freshman,
team.
yeah.
Mhm.
So when I look at Purdue, they don't have Edie anymore. They don't have anybody that impresses me. And High Point's got a young man from France.
Yeah.
So here's my take on it: Purdue, au revoir. Au revoir.
All right. That's
So
what I
give me
like to
High
hear.
Point.
High Point.
All right. That's a fun upset. I think it's going to be a too popular of an upset, to be honest. I think
It could
Purdue's
be.
going to figure it out.
But I'm going all the way with High Point.
But I like High Point's experience, and that would be a fun upset. Up next, we got Illinois taking on the winner of Texas or Xavier. I'll be honest, I think I'm going to take either Texas or Xavier, whoever wins that matchup.
A lot of, well, mostly Illinois fans, they are super confident
Yeah.
that most of the season just didn't mean anything,
matter.
and that this is the time for
Yeah.
Illinois.
So
this is it.
that's like my biggest concern with the Big Ten. The Big Ten was riding high for a long time in the season. Illinois were they number one early on in the season? Really early?
No, they were
close?
preseason top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Now
then
you're just thinking because Illinois fans still hold on to when they were number one like a couple
Yeah.
years ago.
but they lost Dane Danja, they lost Coleman Hawkins. They've lost some guys, but they
It was a weird transition.
they replenished a little bit. They looked good early on in the
Yeah,
season.
their point guard Kasparis, he's the real deal.
Yeah. But like Illinois, Purdue, Wisconsin, they all had these weird fall offs in the middle of the season that just make you concerned. Texas, I think, put a really good run on their conference tournament. Xavier has
I like
a lot
Xavier.
they have a lot of experience.
Yeah.
I forgot Zach Fremantle is still on that team.
Yeah.
He's one of those 10-year seniors, it feels like. But he's really talented. I just think whoever wins that matchup is going to be able to beat Illinois. Jordan?
I agree. I'm in for it.
Okay.
After watching Texas, what they did to A&M and everything, and then Xavier's been good pretty
and the
much
o-
all year.
The other
to me.
thing, if Texas figures out how to give the ball to Trey Johnson, they're going to be even better, I think. Sammy?
I got the winner of Texas Xavier over Illinois. I just
Okay.
think that same thing. I mean, like Illinois, I can't trust them. They're like Purdue. It's like you just can't trust them. You know, as I mentioned earlier, Purdue, you can't trust Fletcher Lawyer. I mean, like I just think that I think Illinois not as bad as Purdue, but I just think that you know, with Illinois, you just really they got some issues. They got some questions.
Okay. Malik, defending the Big Ten? Or
Listen, I've said I don't think Texas deserved this, but their run in the SEC tournament was nice. Trey Johnson is a top 5 pick, and I think Xavier could also beat Illinois. So yeah, I'm just putting 11 on the sheet. I'm not even putting a name of a team. I'm just putting the 11 seed.
All right. Kentucky and Troy. Does
Some
anybody
people think this is a trendy upset.
I've started to hear that too. I don't know.
Personally, don't.
I'll be honest, I don't know anything about Troy.
They're good. They have a really good starting point guard. They're a tough team, but no.
I know Kentucky tends to lose these kind of games a lot, but
I'm going Kentucky.
I'm going with Kentucky. Does anybody have Troy?
No, I got Kentucky.
Okay. All right. UCLA, Utah State.
Ooh.
Another fun one. I'm always a big fan of Utah State. UCLA had some good moments, again, like some other Big Ten teams. But again, I'm just nervous the Big Ten is going to do that thing again where they get a lot of teams in and they just fall a little bit flat for a lot of them. I'm going to go with Utah State. I think they just have a lot of experience and they're going to win this game.
I'm going to go UCLA. I don't like the way Utah State ended the season. They got absolutely smacked by Colorado State in the
Yeah,
Mountain West
they did.
tournament. I think UCLA has some experience. They have just enough to win a close game to me, so I'm going with UCLA.
Sammy?
I didn't like how you're right about Utah State, especially how they played against Colorado State. But I didn't like how UCLA played against Wisconsin. So UCLA got smacked by Wisconsin. And even though the score didn't indicate it, I don't trust UCLA in this game. So I'm going to take Utah State.
All right. Jordan, where are you going?
Shout out Bill Walton, the basketball enigma. I'm
R.I.P.
going with UCLA.
All right. I think just for that, we're going to go UCLA.
Okay.
Yep.
You
UCLA? Why?
mentioned Bill Walton.
Oh my
Surprised you on that one.
God!
This one, listen, it's for Bill. It's
Oh
for Bill.
my!
Hey, we gave you a couple tiebreakers. So.
Yes, you did.
Tennessee, Wofford. Anybody got the Terriers winning?
No.
Wofford has a power forward that shoots underhand free throws.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to watch. But I think Tennessee is strong enough to make a run. Tennessee.
Yep.
Rocky Top.
Man, I wish Tennessee had Zakai Ziegler last year. I think they could have made a deeper run if he was there. But they're right back. They're reloaded. They're a good defensive team. But they're not going to win the whole thing because Rick Barnes just can't get it done.
This could be the year, I think. We'll see.
I don't know. I don't know. All right. I got to reset the bracket real quick.
We can start to speed it up a little now.
And we're getting into the second round, boys. So,
You always love the first round.
kicking it off, we've got Auburn and Louisville.
I don't think Louisville is deep enough.
No.
I think their six-man rotation is good, but Auburn goes like 8 deep, and they got 3 or 4 dudes that can shoot it, the lights out. I haven't even brought up Tahad Pettiford. I think he's like the sleeper guard in this upcoming draft. I love the style of player he is. I'm going Auburn.
Yeah.
War Eagle.
Yeah, I'm going Auburn as well. Just Janai Broom, just the talent there is just a little bit better. Bruce Pearl, experienced coach.
Yeah.
I just think Auburn, they can get it done. Jordan?
Yeah, I'm a huge Bruce Pearl guy. I think he finally gets it done. Too big, too athletic.
Yeah. Michigan and Texas A&M. Sammy?
I can't believe I'm saying this.
Say it.
Michigan wins this.
Woo!
Twin Towers. The two bigs. The two bigs are the big difference. They're going to dominate the glass. Just give me Michigan.
Jordan, where are you going on this one?
See, my heart's kind of torn. I like A&M's guards a lot. But yeah, Wolf is a kind of a problem for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
But
I think the other one's more of a problem.
I still can't.
Vlad, I think he's more of a problem.
I still can't get over the disrespect though from Dusty May, so I'll go with A&M.
Let it go.
Jeez.
I'm going with
not
So
Michigan.
sensitive. So sensitive.
I'm going with Michigan. I think Michigan's it's that kind of team that they just need to get out of the first round. They could lose in the first round, but I think if they get out of the first round, they get that confidence going. And I think, I agree, I think the big guys are going to cause a lot of problems. And if Trey Donaldson can keep this up, he's been big for them down the stretch, late in games. I'm going to go with Michigan.
Yeah, I think Maryland is a similar team to Texas A&M. They got some guards that can hit shots. They got some skilled big men. But I think Maryland is better than Texas A&M. And even though it's a different situation in the tournament, I think I agree with what you said. I think if they get past UC San Diego, I think they'll kind of their confidence will be rising. I think they'll kind of get rolling in that 7-foot pick and roll they got going. I think that can neutralize their bigs because they don't like coming out to the 3-point line. So, yeah, I'll go Michigan.
Yeah. All right. Ole Miss, Iowa State. Jordan, where are you going?
No, Iowa State, too much.
Yeah.
I don't even, because I still am not even a full believer that Ole Miss gets out that first round. But
yeah, I'm
even
kind of
with
the same
injuries.
way. I love the Cyclones. I've loved them for a few years now. They're not as good this year, I think, just because of the injuries, but they're still good enough to get past whoever is here. I think it's the next round where they would start to struggle. Anybody got a case for Ole Miss?
I do have a case for Ole Miss.
All right, let's hear it.
I think experience matters. I think Chris Beard's been there, with Tech. So, I think Ole Miss goes in there, you know what I mean, uses the experience from Chris Beard, their head coach, and upsets Iowa State.
Okay.
I think this could be a close game, but I'm siding with the guys. I'm going Iowa State.
All right. And here we go. New Mexico, Michigan State.
I'll just get mine out the way.
Yeah. Do you want to make the case for New Mexico?
I'm going Donovan Denton, Ellie Jr. Joseph.
Oh, my goodness.
And I like Richard Pitino enough to think he can sneak one out against Michigan
I'm already
State.
putting Michigan State.
Yeah, Michigan State.
But I also think,
No.
I
Stop
think,
it. Stop
listen
it.
to me, listen to me.
Stop it.
I think you'll agree with this. Their cold shooting can be an issue against a team like this. Donovan Dennett's not afraid. Nelly Jr. Joseph isn't afraid of their big men. I think he's more physically imposing than MSU's big men. I think he can handle them down low. Cohen Carr could be an X factor in this game. And Jace Richardson, of course.
Jace Richardson's
But-
taking over this game.
But I'm going to New Mexico.
Jace Richardson's taking
Going to
over this
Lobos.
game. Carr's taking over this game. Hallman's gonna take over. But Jeremy Fierce Jr., watch him. He could shoot a couple threes if they leave him open. Think about it.
Jaden Akins comes up small.
Jane Akins, the Farmington grad.
He shoots 1 of 8 from the
Jane
three-point
Akins, the
line.
Farmington alum.
Yeah.
Ooh, I think he'll have a big game here against New Mexico. You just watch.
Jordan, you got anything to add?
No, I'm good with Michigan State.
MSU's probably going.
Bit a close one though.
I knew I was going to be the one person on this.
That's why I put him.
Yeah.
That's why I put him in already.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, we got Florida and UConn. Like I
Florida.
said, Florida.
Yeah.
I just think Florida's just too good. Which I am
Yeah.
scared. I'm scared that the nation's gotten too much onto Florida. That makes me nervous always.
But they're just so good.
Yeah.
Like
On
their
both sides.
3 guards are lights out, and their
Yeah.
big men can shoot and play in the post.
Yeah.
Florida.
Jordan, what were you gonna say?
I think it's gonna be a blowout.
Okay. All right, Florida marching on. Gators. Memphis and Maryland. It's another fun matchup.
Memphis
I think.
could make it tough.
And-
Dane Danger versus Derek Queen is interesting.
Yeah, and again, I'm struggling to buy into the Big Ten, and it stinks because for the longest time I always believed in the Big Ten. Last couple of years they've kind of bit me for it, so I think I'm going to take Memphis. I think Memphis can get one more win.
You think PJ Haggerty's just going to go off?
I just think that
He
they
has to for them to win this type of game.
yeah, but he's shown that in big moments he's been able to.
Yeah.
So I think they could get one more game, and then I think their injury problems are going to hurt them in the next round. But I think Memphis can pull this off.
I think their injury problems get to them here in this game. I like Maryland. I think the Terps move on here. I think they're balanced. You know, they're probably one of the most dangerous teams in this tournament. So give me the Turtles.
All
Give me
right.
the Terrapins.
Jordan?
If this game happens, it's gonna be one of the best uniform matchups. But
It'd be pretty nice. Yeah.
but I like Maryland a lot. I think they're a tough team. I'm with you, Joey, on the Big Ten. I'm always wishy-washy with it, but I do think they feel tough this year. The teams feel tough, so
Yeah.
I'll go with.
Malik?
If Tyrese Hunter played, I'd take Memphis. But Maryland has 2 experienced guards that can hit shots, and Derek Queen. And they have Derek Queen and Julius Reese.
Yeah.
And I think Dane Danger can't beat them both. So yeah, I'm going Maryland.
All right. Oh,
Oh,
boy.
This is going to be fun.
Drake and Texas Tech.
I think this is a bad matchup for Drake. I'm
All right.
sorry. I think this might be it.
I'm glad we're on the same page here.
This,
I'm
yeah.
not.
Texas
Okay.
Tech can run them out the gym, Sammy.
Yeah.
I like them too, but come on, man.
Yeah.
The Texas Tech's advantages, yeah.
I think Texas Tech is a real dangerous team in the tournament.
Yeah.
I might have to look at that.
Yeah. I think Texas Tech has kind of gone under the radar a bit this year.
They have.
I think, so many people are always focused on Houston and stuff these days, and even BYU with some of the runs that they've made. I think Texas Tech is a little bit underrated, even though they're a 3 seed. People just forget. And like Malik said, JT Toppin is a real deal.
Yeah. He might go for like 30 and 15.
If I change to Texas Tech, and Drake makes the run the Elite Eight, I know Mr. Garcia
Listen.
at Oakview Middle School is going to let me.
we
have
we
it.
love Bennett Sturts.
He's going to let
But
me
listen,
have it.
Texas Tech is going to send everything they have at Bennett Sturts. It's gonna be a long game.
Sammy, just think of this Drake team like Oakland last year. Like, they come off a huge high.
Yeah.
They're going to get close. Maybe they have a chance against Texas Tech, and they just come up a little bit short. That's how I could see this game happening.
I still believe in Drake, but I'm just
Fair enough.
I just
Stick to your guns.
yeah.
Jordan, you got anything to add?
I'm all with Texas Tech.
All right. Texas Tech moving on. Arkansas St. John's.
St. John's all the way. To me, this is when Patino flexes that, like, there are no Caliparis without me. There are, like, he is the godfather of college basketball, and his team is tough. And Arkansas is so wishy-washy. St. John's could beat them by 20. Like, they can run them off the court.
Rick Pitino versus John Calipari. I remember the days when Louisville and Memphis played. Both of them were there. I mean, like, everybody knows
Even
about
back
that.
to, like, Massachusetts and Kentucky in
Oh,
the
yeah,
90s.
Massachusetts-Kentucky
Yeah.
rivalries, yes. But I just look at the Red Storm, and they're just playing really well right now. I mean, like, I know Calipari's in a nice year, but give me the Red Storm.
Jordan, who do you think has this?
Yeah, St. John's to me seems like one of the most locked in or like bought into their coaches, whatever, like their scheme, I guess you would say. Even
They're like an old school basketball team.
yeah, it's weird. They play defense. It's selfless basketball. They press.
Rick
It's
Pitino
tough.
team. Yeah.
Yep, it's weird in this year of basketball, but yeah. I think they're going to be a problem for a lot of teams.
I will say St. John's offense struggles at times.
Yeah, they're not the best shooting team,
Yeah.
but they're so well coordinated.
Yeah.
Like
And I don't think Arkansas is going to win this game necessarily, but I could see a scenario where Arkansas gets out hot and that causes some problems for St. John's. But I think St. John's is just the better team. I think they're disciplined enough to be able to stop those runs, and I don't think Arkansas is the disciplined offense to be able to take down a team like St. John's. So I agree with you guys. St. John's, kind of cool to see them back, even though I don't love Rick Pitino. All right, on to the other side. And we got Duke and Mississippi State. Anybody see Mississippi State able to knock off Duke?
unless
even close.
Josh Hubbard goes for like 40.
Not even close.
But yeah, Duke is too
Duke's
strong right now.
Too athletic, Cooper Craig's will be back. I mean, like, Duke blowout.
Yeah, I think they could win even without Cooper Flag in this game. I think moving forward it might get harder, but I just think they're too well-oiled of a machine this year. Jordan, do you feel the same way?
Yeah, they're good. I don't think Mississippi State's taking it.
Yeah.
Nice and succinct.
All right. Liberty and Arizona. Anybody think the Flames could beat Arizona?
I want to take Liberty, but this is the type of game where Caleb Love goes for 30 and they're up by like 20.
I don't know.
Caleb Love is going to have a few of those games.
Yeah.
He's going to have a few.
I
but he also
agree.
could go cold.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
I'm going Arizona.
The thing that scares me about if this matchup were to happen, Liberty got out of the first round. They're feeling good. Their offense is flowing. If they got off to an early start in a game and then Caleb Love feels like he has to force things to catch up, that could make Arizona fall even further behind.
But I feel like this is where Arizona's bigs come into question. Like,
Yeah.
Henry Visar is very skilled. I forgot the big they got from Tennessee, but he's a defensive force. Trey Townsend can get buckets down low. So I'm going Arizona.
I'm going Liberty.
I'm going Liberty.
Oh, boy.
I'm going Liberty.
Okay.
Jordan?
I don't know enough about Liberty, so I'll go with Liberty.
All right.
Liberty moves on to the Sweet 16.
I think we can agree that whoever plays Duke in the next round is probably losing anyway. So
Liberty's backcourt is so good, but they're so undersized for this type of matchup.
I agree. I
But
get what
I
you're
guess
saying.
we're riding with Liberty.
I want a fun upset.
Okay.
Speaking of fun upsets, VCU.
Will John Tanjay go full John Tanjay in this? Like, will he go for like 35? This is his type of game.
But VCU is that disciplined defense that if they go and watch that Michigan game that you talked about,
True.
Very
Yeah.
disciplined.
they'd be the
I
team
did
that could
make that point. I'm sorry.
They could be the team that shuts down John
disciplined.
Tanjay.
Yeah.
I think they're disciplined enough. And then as we've seen, if Tanjay struggles, Wisconsin can struggle at times. VCU is really good at getting out to the perimeter. They can guard all 5 positions. Wisconsin likes to play stretch 5 kind of games. I think VCU could knock them off.
You've convinced me.
I'm going with VCU.
I'm VCU too.
I am VCU as well.
All right. Jordan, you want to add on to this?
You guys got me. Convinced me that easy.
Nice. VCU, like I said, they're my pick this year for upsets. So they'll probably lose in the first round. St. Mary's and Alabama.
Alabama, man.
Roll Tide, Nate
Yeah.
Oates. Have faith in Nate Oates.
They're too fast, too big. Like, yeah.
Jordan?
Too much. They got a lot. Bama's. I like Bama a lot this year to make a good run, and they got a little bit of experience from last year.
I don't believe in Alabama.
Wow.
Wow.
You know, why? Is this just a feeling?
It kind of is.
Like,
The injury
It's one of those
bug?
feelings, but like, again, St.
they
Mary's.
got everything. Man.
St. Mary's is another one of those teams. If they are able to get out of the first round,
Against Alabama.
figure things.
Alabama.
Think about how frustrating St. Mary's would be for Alabama to slow that team down. I don't know if
I
they
don't
can
know
do
if
it.
I don't know. If,
I'm not saying
you
if,
know
Yeah,
what
I don't-
Alabama's point guard is.
But-
nobody is going to slow him down.
if St. Mary's slows them down to a certain amount and they get frustrated,
I
like
just don't see it.
we've seen Alabama kind of fumble at times. So
That's in the SEC, though.
I'm just saying. I have St. Mary's in my bracket, I'll be honest. But we'll have Alabama. Alabama is still very good.
Yeah.
I just think that a potential team could upset them. Houston, Gonzaga. I'll start with my other hot take. I think Gonzaga could get this win.
I think Ryan Nembhard is really good, but I don't think Gonzaga doesn't have multiple guys like they usually have. They're like at a super high level. They're a good team, but who's their other guys? Like, there's no Jalen Suggs, Chet Holmgren.
Yeah, not to that level.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
but I think they're
Against a team like Houston,
They're a
who can
deep-
just defensively like grind you down.
yeah.
I don't know.
I
I got
just-
Houston.
Okay. Anybody else got Gonzaga? Just me?
No,
Okay.
I got Houston.
Like I said, this is my hot take of the bracket is this side over here.
It's hot. It's a piping hot take.
Clemson and High Point.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I already said it. I think Clemson could be a dark horse in this
Yeah.
tournament.
I got Clemson.
Jordan,
Yeah, the Cinderella story ends after one.
I wish High Point could keep going.
the Cinderella story
yeah.
you didn't even know about.
Yeah, didn't know it was a college.
Texas Xavier taking on Kentucky.
I got Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Yeah, I think if they get past the first round, I think they're going to start rolling.
I think I got the winner of Texas Xavier get my Kentucky.
I don't think there's any way Texas makes the Sweet 16. No
I-
way. Even with Trey Johnson.
You know what?
I
You want to go Kentucky then? I'll go Kentucky then. Fine. Give me
No,
Kentucky.
stick with your guns.
No,
Sammy.
I'm
Don't
gonna go
don't
Kentucky.
change.
No, I'm gonna go Kentucky.
Okay.
all right. He
I'll
changed
Kentucky.
it, and he didn't know. I would have gone with him. I would have taken Texas or Xavier, but we swapped it up, so we're going with Kentucky. I think Xavier is the better team, but I think Texas maybe is a little more dangerous. But I think either team could maybe knock off Kentucky if they got there. UCLA, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee all the way.
Tennessee.
All
Yeah,
the way.
I agree. Jordan, you got any qualms about that?
No, I don't love Tennessee this year, but I definitely think they're going to put the beat down to UCLA.
Yeah.
I think they more than anybody make these first two rounds look easy. Like, yeah.
Imagine blue versus orange Sweet 16. That would be interesting.
That's a fun one.
Nice color clash.
All right, here we go. Sweet 16. Where am I at? Auburn and Michigan.
Listen,
Malik, how we feel?
this is a great first run for Dusty May. But Janiyah Broome is going to put Vlad Golden in the front row, maybe in the second row. And this is when the guard problems become, like Trey Donaldson could show up for this game, but Tahad Pettiford, Denver Harris, I'm forgetting they have several guys that can just knock down shots and just, it could be an avalanche. And I haven't even mentioned Chad Baker Mazzara, who's 25 going on 26. Like, Auburn. I can't pick Michigan in this one.
I could pick Michigan.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Okay.
I could pick Michigan.
Okay.
I do think Auburn having their troubles late in the season, I think that's a concern.
All right.
And this is
Some
another.
people think they've lost their mojo. Some people think
I think this is a momentum thing at this point. Like, again, if Michigan makes it to the Sweet 16, they have so much momentum
do. They do.
rolling for them that I see maybe they all of a sudden figure it out. And again, like Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf just play so well together. I think that can still cause problems. I think it's one of those games that maybe you just let Janai Broom do his thing and you try to stop everybody else.
No, Danny Wolf taking their bigs out to the three-point line could cause some issues.
Yeah.
But
Michigan needs to hit their shots, but I think there's a chance for Michigan again. If they get rolling and they get this far, I think there's a chance.
I want to be the last one here to say
All
this.
right, Jordan, how do you
who
feel?
did you pick Michigan?
I'm picking Michigan.
Okay.
Didn't we just? I've heard you guys say Michigan has turnover problems.
They do.
They do.
They do.
Yeah. So and finally, a team's going to match their size. Auburn's good. They have a lot. I mean, I know Auburn usually chokes a little bit in the tournament here, but I just think they're going to be too much talent.
Yeah. All right, Sammy, take it away.
Okay, so I was walking summer lunch monitor at Oak Middle School. So this was probably the matchup I was thinking about
The most.
during lunch. Because Michigan's got 2 7-footers that can match up with Auburn. They got some guys go inside out with them. Auburn has got some guards who can play.
Yeah.
But when I look at this matchup, and I had a talk with several students about this matchup.
It's up to the kids.
Yeah, so I left it up to my students, and the majority of them picked Auburn. So I said, why Auburn? Because Michigan doesn't guard very well. They don't guard very well. They rely a lot on those 2 7-footers. So in memory of with my kids in thought, I'm picking Auburn to knock off Michigan.
Okay.
Big surprise. All right. And the other team on the other side, Iowa State and Michigan State. Sammy,
Michigan State's
they
moving
marching on?
Michigan State's moving on.
Yeah. I'm going with Michigan State. This is where Iowa State, the injury is going to catch up to them. And again, similar to Michigan, if Michigan State gets rolling like this, I think they could make a deep run. And this is why I picked Michigan. I wanted Michigan matchup. But I just think Michigan State, they're going to be able to deal with Iowa State. Iowa State's pesky. They'll be annoying. This will be a super low-scoring game, but I think Michigan State can just out-tough Iowa State in this moment.
Unfortunately, I'm taking Michigan State. Unfortunately.
Jordan, how do you feel about this matchup?
Taking Michigan State, I think they got a little bit bailed out because Iowa State would have been a lot tougher of a game without the injuries. But that would have made me think twice. But now I'm going Michigan State.
Right. All right. Then we got Florida and Maryland.
Florida.
Anybody got Maryland?
This will be a tight game. I think Florida wins this.
I'm going
Florida's rolling.
Yeah.
The Gators eat the turtles for breakfast. Florida. And then we got Texas Tech,
This is
St.
gonna be a fun
John's.
one.
Yeah, this game.
Ooh.
This is going to be a old school gritty matchup. But again, Texas Tech, they've been known for their defense in the past. They have a little bit more offense this year. I'm going to keep saying it. Texas Tech, they're kind of my other dark horse as a higher seed. I think Texas Tech knocks off St. John's.
I think this is a low-scoring game. I think this is going to come down to last shot. I think Texas Tech gets it done.
Ooh. Jordan, we'll let Malik
me end
finish.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I was liking St. John's in this one. I was thinking St. John's is going to lock them up a little bit. But, yeah, I think real low scores, slow the pace down, just walk it down. I like St. John's this year to make a good run, too.
Sammy, I think it comes down to last seconds, too. But I think R.J. Lewis and Kadari Richmond, I take them over Texas Tech's guards.
Ooh.
I go St. John's.
Going against your guy, JT Toppin.
Listen, I love this St. John's team.
Okay.
The way they play, they're so like early 2000s, and I love everything about the way they play.
Okay.
And I think they're a good matchup for Texas Tech.
All right.
Not a bad matchup.
I don't think we've let Malik kind of be the tiebreaker, so we'll go with St. John's. Again, I don't love Rick
Red Storm, move
Pitino,
on.
but
If you don't like Rick
Vampire.
Pitino, what kind of grudge do you have against the godfather of college basketball?
well,
What did he do?
yeah, well,
Look, I'm a Michigan fan, and the Michigan should have beat Louisville. That Trey Burke block was clean.
But
I still like Rick Pitino.
anyway, it's cool to see St. John's back in the tournament, so I can be okay with them winning. Let's just flip over to the other side.
Duke and Liberty. What is? look at this game. What are we doing?
Come on, man.
What are we doing?
What is?
You got to have some upsets.
I know, but I'm saying this.
What are we
This
doing?
is not good for Liberty at all.
I didn't say it was good for them, but
This is bad. Let's just yeah.
Scroll down.
Just
Scroll
yeah.
down.
Scroll down.
Oh, man. Liberty, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
all right.
You had a run.
VCU, Alabama, and I'm going to make the same argument that I made for St. Mary's. I think VCU is just, they are a tough team, and they could cause some issues for Alabama. And I think they're a little bit more well-balanced than St. Mary's. They don't play as slow of a pace, but they play really hard defense. I think they could get the upset as well, but I know I'm probably in the minority. Anybody else on VCU, or are we all Alabama?
Roll Tide.
Yep.
Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm on the island now. I see how it feels, Sam.
Welcome to the island.
Look at that.
Houston and Clemson. Once again, I'm going to go for Houston losing this game.
I got Houston losing this game.
Oh,
I
okay.
got Houston losing this game.
I'm gonna go
Tigers.
with Clemson.
Tigers. Tigers.
I'm gonna go Clemson.
Jordan, what do you have to say about this matchup?
You want me to say Clemson just
No,
because
we don't
they
have
beat
to.
Duke?
No,
Just 'cause
since
they
we all
beat
said
Duke?
Clemson,
Is that
that's
what
why I
you
thought
guys trying to get me to do.
No, just I wanted to see, since we all said
Jordan,
Clemson.
Jordan, you should go
No.
on the island too. Do it.
I'll go on. I'm going to go on the island
Go on
just
the
because I think Houston's really good defensively.
Okay.
Houston can go cold, though. They can go cold.
Yeah. I don't know. It's Houston's become one of those teams they haven't gotten it done.
Yeah, they
And
can
so
go
until-
cold. That's what I'm saying.
Until Calvin Sampson wins a
They're
title,
gonna- they could go cold.
it's just a
You
team
know
I'm
what I
going to
mean?
doubt
They can
every
go
year.
cold.
Kentucky, Tennessee.
This is a fun rematch.
Blue versus orange should be a
Fun,
fun
fun
one.
rematch.
Two teams that just cannot get it done in the big dance typically.
I got Rocky Top. I got Rick Barnes.
I do as well.
So do I.
Again, they got Zakai Ziegler back. I think they're just much better
Rick
of a team.
Barnes, yeah.
Jordan?
Yeah, Ziegler's too much.
Alrighty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so,
For the Elite Eight.
where's our top of our Elite Eight? We got Auburn and Michigan State.
Can I start this one?
Go
Yeah,
for
go
it.
ahead.
I think Janai Broom is too much for MSU's bigs. I think you can't shake your head at that. Janai Broom is too much. Even for the collection of Kohler and Carson Cooper, Janai Broom is too much.
No.
And
no.
and
He's gonna get into foul trouble. He's gonna get, and you know what the toll is gonna be for him having to deal with Michigan two 7-footers. So you tell me this:
Carson Cooper
they
has
do
no
not.
chance against
Auburn
Janai
has
Broom.
no answer for Jace Richards. They got no answer for him. And if Michigan State, if they get hot shooting in this
Auburn
game,
has no answer for Jace Richardson.
no, they do not. So I'm taking Michigan State in this over Auburn. I'm taking them.
Auburn
Hey,
has
Malik.
It's similar to Michigan
Malik.
State. It's similar to Michigan State Duke back in
no Auburn
2019.
has no answer for Jace Richardson.
Look at his title underneath his name. The
Auburn has no answer for Jace
the
Richardson.
local Spartan Slappy.
I'm telling you, Michigan State, they're going to
Auburn.
beat Auburn.
Auburn.
No, Michigan State's going to beat Auburn.
Tigers.
All right,
Michigan
Jordan.
State's gonna beat
Tigers.
Auburn.
Jordan,
No,
how do you-
Michigan State's going to beat Auburn.
How do you feel?
No, I hate to do it to all the Sparties, but Auburn's gonna get them. Like Malik's saying, Kohler's gonna get. He's gonna have problems.
They
I
can't-
mean,
they can't
Michigan
deal with
State
Janai
might
Broom
maybe
saying-
able to switch
Broom's
something up,
getting
and
into
do
foul
something
trouble.
with it,
Against who?
He's going to get into foul
Auburn's
trouble.
a lot.
Just watch. Just watch.
and I love Michigan State's guards, but Auburn's too much.
I'm going Michigan State.
Wow.
I just again, this team if this team makes it this far, something is going right. And I think at this point, they've faced all the adversity that they've had.
Okay.
I think they can take on Auburn. I think they match up fine. I think Janai Broom is one of those guys. He's gonna do what he does, and you can't entirely stop that.
If they match up fine against Auburn, do you think they match up fine against everybody?
No,
Okay. I just had to ask that
I
question.
disagree with that.
Okay.
But again, on this side of the bracket, their region, I think they could get it done, and we could finally see them back in the Final Four. So because they're the home team, or our home team, they're making the Final Four.
Boo.
I've made the decision.
Boo.
Okay.
And then we got Florida and St. John's.
This is a tough one.
This is
Gonna be a
fun.
good one.
But again, right above me, I'm going with the Gators.
Who adjusts to whose pace? Because Florida's running.
I
They're running
think,
and shooting. And St. John's, they get in transition, but they go to the basket.
yeah.
They go right at you.
I don't think-
Who adjusts to whose pace?
I think they can match up well defensively, but I don't think St. John's can keep up with Florida's offense. I think Florida is balanced enough that because they play both sides of the ball just a little bit better than St. John's, I think St. John's could run into some offensive woes, even though I think they can slow down Florida, if that makes sense. I just think Florida offensively can do more, and I think they can just, like, they got a 7-footer that can stretch the floor, and, like, that's so hard to guard.
I wonder if St. John's can just bully ball them. Like, I think Kadari Richmond and RJ Lou, I think their guards can, like, get in.
You think they can bully Walter Clayton Jr.?
I'm saying on defense, I think they can get up in their face and frustrate them.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be complaining to the refs. I think they're going to be like shooting threes and like flailing in the air because Kadari Richmond is right up in your chest. I think they'll get frustrated.
But
Jordan, you pick. Jordan, you go.
So to me, it all depends on how many points get scored. Kind of like you guys are saying, the pace and stuff.
Yeah.
But if this game goes up over 140 points, it's Florida's game all day. Up over 130 even, it's Florida all day.
If you get
But
into
if
like
St.
the high
John's-
70s, once you get past the 70s, it's Florida's advantage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If St. John's, though, can slow them down, I do like St. John's a lot for it. But I don't know. Florida's a whole beast right now. I'll go with
Sammy-
St. John's.
Okay.
Florida right now, the way they're playing, St. John's can defend them all they want, but you're right. If Florida gets above over 75, 80 points, St. John's in trouble. I mean, so give me the Gators. I think Florida's going on to the Final Four.
and we circle back to Malik.
This hurts my heart. It really hurts me.
They had a great
'Cause
run.
I think Patino has the clear coaching advantage. Like Todd Golden has never been in this situation.
No.
Right. But he's coached his team well throughout this
He
season.
has. They've played so well, and they're on a roll. I'll go Florida.
Come on, they're above my head, man.
I'll go Florida, man.
It's okay.
It
In
hurts.
In
It
your heart, we
hurts.
know you
How-
want St.
Yeah.
John's.
How much does coaching matter in March, though? We'll see.
In my soul, in my heart, I'm with you, Jordan. But man,
Is it players or coaches?
I had to
The
go with
world
my
may
head.
never know.
I had to go with my head. It's the players when it comes down to this.
I
It's the
agree.
players.
Duke,
the players.
Alabama.
Duke.
Yeah, I'm with
Yeah.
Duke. Again, I think Alabama could lose earlier.
See, I think this is a good game, though.
I do too. I think Alabama, if they got here, they could actually cause some problems for Duke, just because of their pace.
They score.
Yeah. So we'll find out if Cooper Flag is the real deal or if he's more like Zion and can't quite make it. Then we got Clemson and Tennessee.
Yeah.
Orange and orange.
Wow.
Orange and orange. Should be a fun one.
This will be an obnoxious view of the crowd during this
Yeah.
game. It'll be way too
Sunglasses
much
on
orange.
TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm riding with Clemson at this point. Like
This will be a huge win for
yeah,
Clemson if they
but
can beat Tennessee.
again, this is where if they've made this type of run already, I don't see Tennessee being that big of a
But
problem.
this is where the Rick Barnes thing comes in.
right.
Can his team finally, like Chaz Lanier and Jordan Gainey, I think them two can get Rick Barnes over the hump. But yeah, and Zakai Ziegler too.
Yeah.
Like that 3-guard lineup, those guys are so tough and they're ready for this moment.
Yep.
I guess I'm going with Tennessee saying that.
Okay.
I think those 3 guards can get them over the hump.
Malik, I'm with you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm with you, brother. I'm going with Tennessee. I think
Okay.
Tennessee. You just said there. I think I agree with you on Tennessee.
Jordan?
I'm going with Clemson. I don't think they break Rick Barnes' curse. This guy can. It's not the player's fault.
But
I don't know.
I think Tennessee finally has the players.
I don't know whose tiebreaker to go with.
Does it fall back in Sammy's favor?
Either way,
Should fall back. I've been on an island most of the time here.
I think this one's okay because so I'll just break the tie and say we can go with Tennessee.
Okay.
Because look who they have to face in the Final Four. I don't think it matters.
Bum, bum, bum.
It's a really good matchup.
Is Clemson or Tennessee taking down Duke?
No.
That's what I thought.
No.
So Duke's in our final. And on the other side, we got Michigan State and Florida.
I don't think this is a great matchup for Michigan State.
I think this
I
is
don't think it is.
Unfortunately for me,
It's time to, yeah.
it's time for me to say, you know what I mean, and I
Yeah.
owe my bosses an apology. I just gotta take Florida here.
Hey, we made it back to the Final Four. That's an
I
accomplishment.
owe my
Yeah.
bosses an apology. I owe both my bosses an apology. I gotta take Florida.
It's Walter Clayton, Will Richard,
Yep.
and Elijah Martin. Those three dudes. Unless
And they have a big that can stretch the floor.
Yep.
Yeah.
How does Michigan State deal with that?
Their bigs can play defense and should they have everything.
Yeah.
Florida has everything you need for this.
Again, Michigan State making the Final Four would be huge.
Yeah.
I
And
got
I
Florida.
would take that as a successful season. So I'm going with Florida. Jordan, what do you have to add about Michigan State or Florida?
Florida, too much pace. Michigan State won't be able to keep up. Game of runs.
And hey, after all of that, we had fun upsets and all that, and we
Listen, at the end of the day, it always comes down to this, honestly.
we
when
end
it
up
comes
with the
down to it.
two fan favorites
Yeah.
so far, which usually means we have a good bracket. If you can get some upsets and then you finally finish with still low seeds, it's usually a good sign. Last year we did pretty bad in the tournament.
Yeah, we did really bad.
I think we got UConn as the champion, and I think that's all we did right. And I think we got everything else wrong. So if we can amend everything here, who do you guys have in this championship? I think this championship would be outstanding.
I think Tennessee could possibly pull it out, but they would have to dictate like most of the game.
Wait, Tennessee?
I said I think it's possible. I think Tennessee could do it.
I alady put Duke in our final.
That's
Talk about our final.
I understand, but I'm saying
Okay,
I think
okay.
Tennessee could possibly do it. Their bigs are all athletic and can defend and catch lobs. Their guards are tough. I think Tennessee has the formula. But like we said, the Rick Barnes thing, can he get them over the hump?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? But I guess we're going with Duke.
And I forgot to mention, now that we're in the Final Four in the championship, we've made it to San Antonio, which is where Malik and I are right now, by the way. But again, Florida Duke final. Sammy, where would you go here?
Oh,
Gators.
he's going with the Gators.
Give me the Gators. Florida too much. I think their big is solid. You know, I think Craig will have his moments, but I just think it's going to be a classic game. I just think Florida better team. You know what I mean? Duke very athletic, but I just think that Florida, the way they're playing right now, is I like the Gators really tight.
Let's go with Malik, because then Jordan and I both have the champion in this game. How do you feel, Malik?
I'm going to go Duke.
Duke? All right.
I think they have the perfect mix of youth and experience.
This is actually,
Like they got Mason Gillis. Is Malik Brown coming back?
I don't know, actually.
I'm not sure if he's coming back, but they got Mason Gillis. They have other experience off the bench. Sion James, we haven't even brought him up yet. I think he's the X factor. He's big. He's strong. He's 6'4". He's like 210. He can shoot. He's basically their point guard. Like with that size and defensive ability and his playmaking, and he can shoot. That's a tough matchup for most teams.
Yeah.
And I think he could be the X factor for them in this run. So I'll go with Duke.
All right. Jordan, where are you going? Because I've already tilted my hand. Do you believe in Duke to win the championship as a usual Duke guy, or do you think Florida can actually beat them?
So if this is the final and it's Florida and Duke, I think it's a hard matchup for Duke because with the pace that Florida will play at, and it's going to be a very high-scoring game. But I'm riding with Duke, and it's time for Cooper Flagg to put his name down with the greats like Grayson Allen, like Christian Laettner, like what are John Shire himself? Like, come on, J.J. Redick. Like, it's time. So, and I believe, and I'll be honest, because of the draft, teams look like trash. I think he's staying one more year.
It's,
Gonna
Well,
go
you've
back
gone
to
too
back,
far.
gonna be a
And that's where you
disaster.
went too far.
Yeah.
And I think so. Obviously, I'm back in Florida. I think it's just their year. I always hated Florida because they had Joakim Noah back in the day when they won back to back.
Never
But
liked him, so.
this team is a lot more enjoyable for me, and so I think Florida's going to win. But I think the perfect way to break this tie. We haven't brought up our guy Chris Pappas at all.
We haven't.
No.
Chris Pappas, one of his big things, NBA talent.
Oh my God.
The better NBA talent in this game
Duke.
is Duke.
The Devils. The
So
Blue Devils.
we are going to go with Duke as our champion. And does anybody have a tiebreaker score that they want to put in there for just
Tiebreaker
bracket
Gonna
challenge?
be,
I-
that's going to be a
I-
high-scoring game.
I will go 82 to 75.
Okay. Sammy, what do you think?
I'm going Florida for my national champ, but I know we're going Duke here, so I'm going to say 82-81.
Okay.
Oh,
Jordan?
I like 76-79.
Okay. Let's just go with, what do you guys think of 158 total points?
why not?
Why not?
That's just real quick in my head.
Yeah.
All
Why
righty.
not?
So we have Duke as our national champion
Surprise, surprise.
against Florida. Those are, again, like I said, the two fan favorites this year. But I think there could be a lot of upsets in the first round,
Yeah.
but I think it could end up chalk like it usually kind of does. So once again, super excited about this bracket. Favorite time of the year. Sammy, Malik, Jordan, thank you guys for all joining us. Sammy, what's your final words? Any big thing you need to say or shout out?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Wish everybody luck in their tournament.
All right. Jordan?
Let's go. It's our year finally. Even got you guys on board too, so let's go.
All righty.
Best month of the year.
Malik, final words about Michigan being back in the tournament.
Before that, shouts out to Pontiac High School and AD Craig Covington. They had a good basketball season. I just hope they win at least one game. I'm satisfied with what Dusty May has done in this one season. As long as they get to the second round, I'll be happy. Go Drake, go New Mexico, go High Point.
And
French
there-
point guards, not Killian Hayes, but French point guards.
And there you have it. Malik and I will be back in 2 weeks to recap the first couple rounds. But until then, everybody enjoy March Madness. And if you want to watch or if you want to join in our bracket challenge on our YouTube video, this will go on Orion Neighborhood Television's YouTube channel. And I will put the link in the description to go to the Views from the Sideline bracket to join our bracket challenge if you guys want to play along and see how our bracket does against you guys. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.